Hello and welcome to Welsh Football Fans Live with a live studio audience here in Eat Sleep Media's HQ in Cardiff Bay. Hooray! Hooray! They were a bit slow on the uptake there, guys, weren't they? But they'll get better. They'll get better as the beer flows through the evening. Look, this is something that we have wanted to do for a long time with Welsh football fans. And finally, thanks to COVID, etc., we can finally do it, and we can hold a live where we're actually in person. You can meet John Morgan actually in person rather than on another square somewhere else. We've got some other really special guests which we'll come to soon. But before I do all that, listen, big thank you to a couple of our partners. First of all, Pure Vans. Dave and the boys, thank you so much for all your support with the channel. And thank you very much as well to the guys at Valley Carpets, absolute legends. And go check them out as well if you can. Right, let's get on with it because we have a huge evening. This is how it's going to work. Usually it'd be Alex sat here. Unfortunately, it's his daughter's training. So no man is kept away from his daughter's football training. So he's unfortunately not here tonight. I'm manning the post before doing FC Cymru duties tomorrow. Joining us, we have the highest grade of guests, absolutely A grade. Joining us on the sofa across here, we have Rupa Vyas. Rupa, lovely to see you. Always dressed in red for both Liverpool and for Wales. John Morgan, up the county, John. How you doing? Nice to see you.
We go.
Absolutely. And we will explain.
Don't forget the Madry.
And the Madry and Tinty in the bucket hats, but we'll come to that later. We will come to that later. And of course, our very special guest, Noel Mooney from the FAW CEO. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah. Good. No, thank you so much for coming.
Huge pleasure.
What the hell are you doing here? Why have you come to join us now?
I'm just beginning to wonder, actually.
Yeah.
No, I think it's okay. Look, it's great to see everyone here, and you can feel the sense of excitement in the room. So it's a great pleasure to be with you.
Oh, listen, we're absolutely buzzing to have you here. Guys, as ever with the Streamlabs, you know the drill from all the ones that we've done. If you have got any questions, you want any comments, ping them in, and then we will get to those. If you've got questions for Noel, then questions. If you've got questions for John and Rupa, I mean, put those in as well. But if you've got questions for Noel, stick those in, and we'll ask the more sensible ones that come through. But listen, Noel, huge game. I've been sick with anxiety, waiting for tomorrow. It's like Christmas Eve. How are you feeling after sort of, again, as we were saying earlier, a long winterless international barren spell?
Yeah, I feel really cool and very calm, to be quite honest with you. I know.
Really?
I do. I think. Yeah,
You look at it as well.
I really do. We've done everything we can. I think.
Yeah.
The conditions. If anyone saw any of the pictures from Hensel this week at FAW HQ, it was like the Costa del Sol out there. You know, the players were just like, wow, it was fantastic. We were trying to tell the players it's like this all the time, but they didn't believe us. But it was just a great mood out there. I called over to the hotel last night. It was Harry Wilson's birthday. So they gave him a cake and all that. But I just got a sense of the mood there. And I think Rob and the backroom team have done a brilliant job to get everyone so calm and relaxed. The players have all the ingredients they need to beat Austria. So it's just a case of making sure it all comes together, really. I mean, we can't control that. That's up to them to do that, of course. So everything from our side is done. The tickets are sold. The programs are printed. You'll be glad to know.
Very glad, yeah.
The bucket hats are on sale. So we're doing fine. The music is done.
Yes.
I'm hoping they play the Smiths. That's my only ask. They'll play the Smiths at some stage. But yeah, we're ready. So I feel cool, calm, relaxed. I can tell you from meeting the players and the management, everyone is really calm. Now, the people who are the most nervous are in this room, I think.
100%. And I was going to ask you, so John, for you, how are you feeling? Because I feel a bit calmer after Noel's opening spiel there. I'm feeling a little bit more chilled.
Put me at ease now.
Yeah,
So I was a little bit anxious going ahead of tomorrow. I thought, I didn't know what was going to happen. Because again, it's a bit of potluck. Anything can happen on a game like that.
Yeah.
Because it is just a one-off. So whatever happens is going to happen. But there's a nice calming atmosphere about it. Like it feels like we're not worried about it. We should be there, and we feel like we deserve to be there.
We should be there.
Yeah, and
We should be there.
I think I've got a fun ride, I think. I got a funny feeling.
Have you?
Yeah, I have. But I'm not going to book Qatar just yet.
No.
Just yet.
Hang on, because we've got a long way to go as well, because we've got to wait until the summer, obviously, before that. Rupa, how are you feeling?
So I feel better after speaking to Noel. I don't know what it is. It's like therapy. But I feel a lot.
He's got a very soothing voice, hasn't he? Very soothing voice as well. Yeah. Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But,
Good stuff.
I think, I'm just happy to be there. But I'm worried about not being worried. I think that's just my superstition.
Yeah.
Like, that's just me. That's my experience with football. So I'm going to be a little bit worried until we go 2-0.
Yeah, no,
So
fair enough.
Once
Fair
that
enough.
happens, I'll chill out.
Okay. Well, yes, fingers crossed for 2-0. Yeah, and I think it's an age thing as well, because we had Wardy came over to me earlier and was like, had enough heartbreak here, do you know what I mean? And Reece is there going, just know nothing but success, mate. So it's going to be fine. So I think it's an age thing, and we've got. But no, look, I'm looking around the room, and I can definitely say that none of us can remember 1958. You're the only one in here who've had their nation at a World Cup. What was 2002? Did you manage to get out there?
Yeah, well, see what happened. The first thing was just the significance of World Cup's important, because Ireland was in a real bad economic recession back in the mid 80s. A lot of our people were going to the east of the US, so New York, Boston was an option for you, or you went to London or Birmingham or Manchester, to be quite honest with you, to get work. And then in 1988, we qualified for the Euros under Jack Charlton. There was only 8 teams at the time, so it was quite an achievement. But we had a really good side. We'd
had a great result against this team called
Yeah, and what was special about that was a lot of us were immigrants. So a lot of the team were immigrants. They'd never lived in Ireland. They'd grown up with Irish parents, Irish music, etc. So to beat England in our very first match in a major tournament was fantastic. I saw some of the images from us beating Slovakia in that first game down in Bordeaux, and it was the same. It was the same. Like, we're not big nations, Wales or the Republic of Ireland. We're not big population-wise. We're very big in spirit and the love of sport and the love of football. And what's really interesting, the feeling for football is the same as in Ireland, actually, because rugby's big here in Wales, got a big heritage, but football is like that. It's just on the up so quickly. And people are, how do I put this? It's hard to summarize. It's a little bit unsure or something of how far we can go. But what I can say, one thing I will point out, is when you look in the eyes of someone like a Gareth Bale or an Aaron Ramsey, or obvious ones, they really believe they're amongst the top players in the world. You know, wherever they're from, they really believe that. And that gives me great confidence. I look at them and I see the way that rubs off on me. I see they're calm and relaxed, that they're ready for this. But we got to the World Cup in 1990 in Italy. And again, we played England, actually. The whole country lifted. It wasn't just football lifted. I mean, we'd gone through the ban, which was where you weren't allowed to play soccer because you had to play the indigenous sports for historical reasons. In my school, we weren't allowed to play football, which gave me a defensiveness about football that lives me till today. Or a great love for football, something you're not allowed to do. You love even more sometimes. But goalposts spread up all around the country. There's 2,000 clubs in Ireland, many of them formed in 1989, 1990, 1991. And it changed the country economically, confidence-wise, everything. So for us, it's not just about football. If Wales, if Cymru get to play in a World Cup, it puts you on a different level as an image of a country. There's people in Africa and South America who will know us even more. Yours is one thing, it's fabulous. But a World Cup is a different animal. So if we get to play in a World Cup, it'll do wonders for the nation's sense of self.
Yeah. And that was kind of took my next question, really, on a wider sense, like the importance of getting to a World Cup final. So I know you've been out chatting to grassroots clubs, and we've seen you kind of interacting with clubs all over the country, what it might mean for them.
Well, there's 2 sides to this. One, which is the feeling of girls and boys wanting to play football. So we all grew up, we saw our heroes playing football. We want to be, it's like Wimbledon comes on, we all become tennis players for a week or two and buy the white headbands and wristbands and all that stuff, and they're gone after a couple of weeks. But with football, you know, it's just something you fall in love with. When your national team does well, everyone's talking about it. It's fantastic. So we'll inspire a generation, like our women's team are doing at the moment, by the way. The girls' game is going like that. It's spiking in terms of participation because they see Jess Fishlock, they see Sophie Ingle, and they see them playing really well and, you know, hopefully qualifying for their own World Cup. But there's the other side too, which I don't want to study this conversation to talk about finances, but I will, because we have to pay for pitches, we have to buy goalposts, we have to build dressing rooms. And the facts are, in Wales, we've been really lucky in that some of our players have gone on to become global superstars, but not really coming through the local system. So we've essentially exported some of our development of players because of the unusual geographic nature. Upstairs, my office is Cardiff City, of course, we play in the English system. A lot of players coming through, like young Isaac's coming through, Ruben and many more. It's great. But as the FAW, we have to take responsibility for the 950 grassroots clubs. And we've done an assessment of what we need to build the grassroots facilities that would just keep us moving in the right direction. It's about £150 million we're behind our neighbours. If we're to build the pitches we should around Wales, it's a lot of money. So part of my job is to find that money, to find that resources. And in the last 2 weeks, we gave out £2.6 million to 35 clubs or projects across Wales, which were dressing rooms, pitches, and it's only the start. Our job is to find many millions of pounds to build pitches so that especially girls, when they come into the game, they don't see a big concrete block, they don't see a big steel door, they don't see a urinal hits them in the face and they walk in the door, but they actually have facilities that's conducive to young girls playing football. And then for like some of the facilities here at the council pitches and that, like there's dog shit on the pitch and different things, and that's not where we should be, and that's not an unfair comment. I grew up in Ireland, as you know. I've lived in Switzerland for the last 10 years. That's not how they are. So we shouldn't accept shit where we are. If we want to create the next quality, the next level of players, we can't just kind of go to Cardiff City's academy and say, oh, they've got 2 coming through, that's fine. We can't export the problem. We can't give it to somebody else. We have to take responsibility for the issue and take these kids from 5, 6, 7 years of age, find them, put them into a pathway that takes them through to play for the national team. You'll lose loads along the way because they'll make different choices. They won't develop, or they'll be injured, whatever it is. But we've got to have an academy system right from the young age that produces the players in the future if we want to have these nights in the future. Because if we don't do that, we won't have these opportunities like we have tomorrow night.
Amen. Amen for that. I know it's a passion for a lot of people in here in the grassroots game, and they've all got their clubs. And I can definitely resonates. I think that voice, doesn't it? And what would it mean for you guys? Go on, Rupert. What would it mean for you for us to get there? Dreaming of getting there.
To be honest, I've just been thinking about how happy I am to see us on that potential route.
Yeah.
I haven't even given it another thought, to be honest.
You're doing one game at a time.
I'm trying to do one game at a time. I mean, in my head, I probably had a few dreams about Nico getting that trophy. But to be honest, I'm just really proud. I'm really happy with what I've been seeing, and I don't know, it's just been incredible. I'd probably cry.
I think I should be honest. I think I'd probably cry as well. And John definitely would cry. He's a big crier.
I mean, the thing is, like you said, it's not just about the football side of things. It's strange for me. I'm going into a serious bit.
Oh God,
I know. But again, it can change a whole country. Look at what we come through with COVID. We don't have to talk too much about it, but what it can uplift now. Here we go. We win tomorrow. People will spend more money on Friday, Saturday, Sunday because of that. That helps your economy. You have a country that goes to World Cup, they will be going out to bars, restaurants. It spikes your economy just when we need it. And that's what the football could generally save the country. Again, independent nation, but I didn't say too much about that.
That's okay. That's okay, John. It's a free. Listen, I tell you what, right. We know that the comments have been absolutely hammering in. I think Luke's on the comments over there. He's been putting a few across there. So I can see James Evans has just popped up. Dreamt it was 0-0, but then I woke up during penalties, so not sure who won. Oh, James, bloody hell.
Tell him to go back to bed and finish the dream off.
Back to bed now. Stop watching. Rob Day say, who starts? So many options. Do you know what, Rob? Interesting you should say that. Should we get into the next talkie? Should we get into the actual nitty gritty of the game? Go on, Luke. Play that thing. We'll get into. Is it Bale first? We're going to play Bale. Let's play the Bale clip. Go on. So before we get into it, let's play Evan's Bale clip because this is absolutely beautiful, and then we'll talk to you.
Talk with Evan Powell from Welsh Football Fans.
Yeah, afternoon, Gareth. You alright?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. But before I head into camp now, I imagine you will have had some words with that.
The Bale clip, obviously.
You don't get to see the Bale clip now. All back, yeah. So I think that was the first time you could tell by Gareth's face that he's been called butt on a presser, which is absolutely sensational. Evan never ever changed. You hear me? All right, good, excellent. So go and check that out on Twitter anyway. And just to introduce, Evan is our new man looking after the Welsh Football Fans socials and all that kind of stuff. So top lad and doing a cracking job and interviewing Bale. So it's not bad, man. It's been a bad few weeks. Good. Right. Go on, boys and girls. Phil, the Mofo train has been on. Brilliant. What a name, Phil. So we're going to chat about the team. And I guess the first thing to start with is Gareth Bale. Rupert, I'm going to come to you. He's barely played for months. Do we start him?
Of course we do. I think so, yeah.
Is this a stupid question?
Yeah, I mean, didn't he recently say he had a bad back? I think it was just to play for us, I think.
It was a niggle. There was a niggle somewhere. No one was saying where the niggle was, but there was a niggle.
I heard it was his back.
And you heard it was his back.
Very good source.
Okay, there we go. Excellent. You heard it here first. Rupert Vias telling you it was a bad back. So we definitely start him, even without any of that match practice.
Yes.
Okay, John?
I'm going to have to differ, I am. I think Bale coming on, you got Ramsey on there. Now, Ramsey's coming back from injury. So I'd rather one of them on. That's going to strike fear into Austria's hearts. But then you've got Bale to come on. How terrorising is that you can bring Bale on? Because you got Brennan Johnson's on form at the moment. I think he deserves a start because he's on form and he's scoring.
A bit of Brennan, yeah.
I'm a big fan of giving these youngsters the chance because they deserve it. They play at the highest level, so they should go for it. Bale, he's experienced. He knows that he could come on and he could go right. Instead of me starting and then mingling rain for maybe a half hour, 60 minutes and seeing how the legs feel, I could come on with 30 minutes to go and do some really bad things to Austria. Some really terrible things. And they're going to get scared of that.
I'm glad the serious John didn't last long.
It's going to happen, I'm telling you now. If Bale comes on, he will do something magical.
Wow. Beautiful. Listen, no, you've actually, compared to the rest of us, you've actually played football at a pretty decent standard. As a professional, can you just come in at that sort of, without that sort of match practice?
I think very few can. Very few can, but if anyone can, he can.
Get in there, come on. That's what I like to hear. This is what I like to hear. But if anything is, I heard a few whoops for Brennan, so we'll get into that in a minute. But what we did, we asked a few people to stick together their teams. So the guys have got the teams ready that we can put up. First of all, I'll just put mine and Rupert's up because great minds think alike. So when I asked Rupert for her team, turned out it was exactly the same as mine. So have you got that?
Or you just copied mine.
Well, you say that.
Somebody didn't have to do their own work. That's
for,
what it was.
we were gonna have a Sabutio board, but we've just gone for the TV. So big Wayne in goals, obviously. See, I've gone and Rupert.
Danny Ward.
Injured Ward. Children. So unfortunately, Danny has an injury and is unable to play. So we've got big Wayne in goals. Stevie Ward. I'm suddenly transported back to Steve Ward's place in the summer, where we went to go and watch the Italy game in his bar. Mepham, Roden, Davis, back three. Rupert, why?
I mean, you asked me, and I just went with what first comes to my head.
Brilliant. Fine. Well, in my case, I wanted to play Ethan in the middle of midfield. No Joe Morrell, so I wanted a bit of power into midfield. So I went with Ethan Ampadu in midfield, which means Mepham comes into the back three. Robertson, Nico, they're the kind of wing backs, and we go with Nico, don't we? We don't go with Williams. Go with Nico. He's kind of Brazilian a little bit, so let's go with that. Aaron Ramsey in the kind of 10 role with Bale and James up front. So kind of similar to the Czech Republic, but obviously without the big man up top. Bale comes in. It's not a bad replacement.
That's all.
Thoughts?
I think that team wins 3-0.
That team wins 3-0.
I don't know if you...
Pulled that up, didn't we? What do you think? What do you think, guys?
I do like it, but then obviously...
No, John, we're going to come to your team in a minute, so we'll hang on to that. Thoughts from the floor? Anyone? Harry Wilson involved? Oh, okay. Yeah. Brennan in there as well. Well, I'll tell you what. Who else have we got? We got Mark, haven't we? Mark Bowen. We can pull Mark's up. So Tosh fan on Twitter. So go and check him out. One of our long supporters. You'll see plenty of videos of our man. Here we go. Mark Bowen's team. So very similar. Obviously, well, actually exactly the same. Except in a different version. You're a bloody genius as well, Mark. Fantastic. Well, there we go. Excellent stuff. So let's go into John's, shall we? Is John's team there? Can we get that up? Because this did give a few laughs, I suppose, John, because he's slightly unkind.
Which part was the laugh? Was it the fact? Oh, you've corrected my mistake. Thank you.
I was going to stitch you up completely because when you first sent, who did you have in there?
Oh, stuck in John Morel. He's suspended, isn't he? I was excited as well. I was telling all the children in
I
work.
could feel when he said John Morel's out, I could feel you shudder a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh God! Yeah, so I was going to stitch you up, but we decided not to. Talk me through it, then, mate. Talk me through it.
For me, I just love width as a style of playing. I think you're going to beat a team like Austria. You've got to go. You got to go round the back. Essentially, you're going to really stretch them. So back three. I mean, look, there's just nothing more to say about that. Just solid as a rock, isn't it? Dan James and Nico Williams. The damage they're going to do on the wings. Both of them can tackle as well. So you know that they're going to be able to come back into a 5 at the back.
You're not wasting Dan.
No, because if we need to go to a 5 at the back, if we're under the cost, then we've got that option for either side to pull in. Nico can go back, or Dan can. Still leaves you 4 in the middle. But I'm feeling Ethan Ampadu sits just in front of that front 3 as just like a probing play. Anything that comes near him, he just bites it and hurts it. And then Joe Allen and Rambo just kind of pressing through the middle. Okay. Johnson and Wilson. Wilson's got a hell of a peg on him, and Johnson's on form. I mean, one of those two. I am actually a betting man. So one of those two is going to score tomorrow.
You're lie to us, but you clean. I mean, Brennan's had an unbelievable. He's just burst onto the scene. When you're playing with that confidence, Noel, and you're that young player, I think I can remember being that age. But yeah, you're just full of confidence, and he seems that sort of lad.
He seems a super guy. It's great for. I suppose when I came to Wales, I was a small bit concerned that, you know, we're coming towards the autumn, shall we say, of Gareth and Aaron's career. That was very politically correct. No, autumn. Yeah, there's plenty of time left. Yeah. But
get that man a beer. Let's get him less.
One of the concerns, I suppose, would be you've got these two, you know, superstars coming towards that time. So, you know, I was a bit worried that we wouldn't have a huge amount of talent coming through. Thankfully, that's completely wrong. I was completely wrong. There's so much talent coming through. He is one that, you know, he's played against Arsenal this year. He's played against Liverpool this year. And he's done well against everybody, and we do know there's a huge amount of interest in his performances from lots of different people. So I think he's got a great chance. And like, if he can take on the mantle from a Gareth or an Aaron, it's a big step for Welsh football. You've got Dan, you know, doing well. You've got Harry doing well, as you say. He's got a hell of a peg. It's his left, I presume, we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay, just checking. But you know, we've got a lot of talent coming through, and I even see that we do a lot of conversations inside about what's coming behind them. And the good news for Welsh fans is there's a lot coming.
Definitely.
So there's good days ahead. I mean, obviously Thursday's big as well, but we have to keep thinking about the future, and there's a lot coming. So with Brennan, we hope he becomes an international player for, has 100 caps and all that stuff. You never know this stuff, but you're hoping that he'll be the next big superstar for Wales.
One of those that could be the next big superstar. One of your favourites is Nico, isn't it?
I love Nico. I'm probably one of the only Liverpool fans to say that.
Yes,
but I absolutely adore the boy.
Yeah. And really coming on for Fulham. I mean, he's made like some of the progress he's made there, and just playing regular football as well.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing for him with Liverpool. He wasn't doing so well because of the lack of game time. So for him to go to Fulham, as much as it breaks my heart, he will leave Liverpool probably.
Do you think so?
Yeah, he's got the quality to play for Liverpool, but I think he'll have to move to get that game time starting every game. But that's going to do wonders for Wales. That's what we need. So I'm going to be selfish and say, let's do it, because I want Wales to do really well as well.
There we go. There's some agreement out there, I think, for that one. Yeah, absolutely. Nick, can we get some of the comments up so I can see some of the people pinging some questions in and things like that. And Brennan as a false nine. James Evans isn't convinced.
Well, good job. It was me choosing it, not him.
Fair enough.
Sorry, James.
James at left wing back. Cameron Knowles not impressed.
Are they all just butchering his lineup?
Absolutely hammering him. Absolutely hammering him.
If the lineup turns out to be true and we win, I win. Science.
Science. You can't argue with science.
Can't argue with.
Big Chopper Charles has been on. Big call. I'd like to see Nico playing right back as a natural right footer and flying at Fulham. And then I'd like to see Reece Norrington Davis on the left.
I like that.
That means no Connor Roberts. Oh no, actually, you played him as centre back.
Yeah. Well, I do like him with Reece Norrington Davis. I think he's on the verge of getting his first team.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He's just sort of making. I think it's a slow progress, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's still a young kid, and he's just coming
You'd
into
rather
that
develop him
Sheffield
over the next
United
couple of
team.
years, and then he could be a mainstay in the team rather than throw him in there and he could sink or swim. And he'd rather.
One of the youngsters coming through, the left back, I believe, Owen Beck at Liverpool. Very, very good player.
He's been in the Liverpool squad in the last week or two.
Yeah.
And he's one on our big radar.
Yeah, he's Rushie's. Isn't he Rushie's nephew, isn't it?
Nephew.
I think something like that. Yeah. Anyway, one to watch. Any more coming in? We've got Bale to start. Yeah, okay, yes. Bale to start. Johnson can bring a big impact off the bench if we're chasing the game. Absolutely good stuff there. We've got Ian Foxwell. Big up to the bucket hat king, John Morgan. So Ian is with you.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank God somebody is. Mate, happy days.
That's one.
There's a bit of controversy here from Stephen Jones. I can see in there, Luke. If we can ping that one up, is Hennessy the right choice? Is he?
Who have we got to go from? Let's be honest. You got Tom King, I'm not knocking League Two, and also, well, he left County for Salford, so no. Sorry, Tom. I did like you until you left. Not bitter at all.
No.
And then you got, is it Adam Davis as well?
Adam Davis is there.
Wayne's got the experience, and I think as much as we want to mess around with it, no, don't mess around with it. Keep it solid. Wayne knows what he's doing, and he's doing a good thing.
Yep. Height. He's got massive height.
He's brilliant at foot golf as well. Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
He's cracking it.
I set up my window. It was really good.
Yeah, if you could be,
did you want to go and join in?
I did.
Truthfully, you really want to. I can imagine.
The meeting I was in was really fucking boring as well. So.
Amazing. I think I would, when I see them, if you ever get the chance to go to the facilities at the Heads, it's absolutely beautiful and the sun shining on it. I can just imagine you sitting in your window just going, I want to go out there and play.
Yeah, it's a great setting for them. It really is. It's fabulous.
Yeah, fantastic. So in answer to your question, Stephen, I think, yes, 100% Wayne starts massively. And actually, if he plays tomorrow night, then there's another game coming up as well in a few days'
Tuesday,
time. Everybody remembers where we should be playing the final, and that could be the 100 caps. That would be a fantastic reason to go and buy some tickets. So, tell us a little bit about, neat segue.
Okay.
So it's a tough game to sell because it's straight after the game that everybody is focusing on, but it's for a hugely important reason as well.
Yeah, I suppose in my last role, as you know, as UEFA for a decade, and I spent a lot of time in Ukraine, out in the regions, meeting the mayors and villages and getting them to play football. At the time, it seemed the most important thing in the world to get them to play football because that's the sport we loved. And now when
it's John Mouse, but he's had a couple.
But,
off to the water there.
But yeah, when you look back at it, it was, for us, football was so important then. And I think of all the people I come across in the Ukraine Football Association, they were very good friends with. And when we had the meeting actually with UEFA and FIFA, and the Scots were there and the Austrians were there, and you're talking about football matches, and the Ukrainian General Secretary is a really good friend of mine, Yuri, and you're thinking, what's going through his head? I mean, he's in Kiev, and what in God's name is he thinking? And we're talking about kickoff times. So we're in parallel universes, what we're talking about. But we all felt that we had to show solidarity for our friends in Ukraine. We've discussed what we can buy for them, whether it's first aid or whatever the hell it is, but it's scary times. So we are still going through a lot of difficult scheduling. There's a lot of questions coming in, for example, around the Poland match, the Nations League in June. If we're successful on Thursday night, how does that work with the dates? And it's quite difficult because, of course, we have to do that. It's practical stuff. People have booked flights to go to Poland. Yeah. We've got to move dates around. That's all happening at the moment and worked in the background. But there is something bigger and much more important than football, amazingly. And that's this war that's going on there. So we want to show solidarity for them. The players, we asked them to think about giving up their fees for the game and that, which they did. I mean, they don't get paid much for going to play for Wales, anyway. But they've given up their fees to play, and which is very nice of them. And also, any proceeds that we make from the match, we will give to Ukraine. And we're already talking to the Ukraine FA about what we can buy for them, what we can give to them. So we really hope that we're successful, of course, on tomorrow night. That's obviously crucial for us. But on Tuesday night, it's a bit more than just a football match. It's a chance for us to come together and to think about what's happening in Ukraine, to try and show some solidarity for football, through football in Wales.
Yeah.
That people of Wales have a chance to show solidarity to people in Ukraine, to raise a small bit of money for them as well, which is great. And also, I mean, for the players as well, I mean, you say Wayne, it could be his 100th cap. It's an international football match. Yeah. I really hope that our support don't just all come Thursday night and then kind of leave Tuesday. It's an international football match. It's Wales playing. A lot of people watching us, and I hope that we can fill the stadium. Yeah. It's a big ask. I know people from North Wales, it's very difficult to get down on a Tuesday night. We understand that. But we're in a city in Cardiff of, 400,000 people, 500,000 people. It slightly would worry me if we didn't get close to the full house on Tuesday night, because it would mean we've a bit more work than I thought. And we sold out these games really quickly. One of the things that concerned me, I think, if you remember the first game, when we went to sell on the portal, I think the portal broke down on the Monday morning, or didn't work for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And that was really frustrating for me, because we're trying to build one of the best footballers, so one of the best sports organizations in the world. It was not human errors, it was technology, but if we want to be a global player, we've got to make sure these things don't happen. We've got to make sure when someone takes an hour off work with their credit card, and that's a pain on its own, to take time off work to buy a ticket, it's annoying. And I've done it many times about concerts and different things. But if the thing isn't working, that drives me absolutely bonkers. So as the head of the organization, that would drive me nuts. So, we've reviewed what happened and to make sure it doesn't happen again. So I'm quite active on Twitter to listen to what people are saying, because sometimes you miss that. If you're the CEO, you can't see everything. And I'll pick up things like about our pricing for tickets. So the fans are really good. So we had a discussion with the fans about the pricing for tickets for this match against Austria and what was supposed to be Ukraine or Scotland. We added about £4 to the ticket. And the reason for that is, as we discussed earlier, the grassroots facilities, we've got to raise a lot of money for grassroots facilities, many millions of pounds. Now, if you take £4 additional to what we were charging previously, £4, if you take 30,000 tickets that you'd add the £4 to. And what we tried to do is add it to the expensive tickets. So you wouldn't add it to children's tickets or to people who are getting the cheapest ticket they can. That's not what you should add it. You should add to the ones who can afford it, of course. So what we tried to do is get a small bit more, which is about 120 grand for a game, because it's 30,000, obviously by £4. But what you must do, I think, is show exactly where that money's going.
Yeah.
So if we make 120 grand extra out of the hard-earned money of fans who are working all week, whether it's a building site or a school, whatever it is, if we make the extra £4, that's 120 across all of us. We have to show that's going to Kyrili, or that's going, and this is going to dress rooms, that's going to allow more people to play football. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we communicate that we're increasing the ticket price to do something, not so that we can have more money ourselves or we can have a party or something like that. That's not what it's about. It's about getting more resources to grow the game. So I've really enjoyed the discussion with the supporters to understand what they want. I still don't quite understand some of the stuff. What I've loved about the Welsh fans is their sense of fashion. Look at John here; it's amazing. But there's a sense of that. Alternative Wales, whatever you want to call it. There's a sense of fashion. There's a sense of music. There's something there. I was trying to get this across. I can't articulate it. I'll never be a poet because I couldn't articulate what I'm trying to say, which is there's a kind of something about the Welsh fans I've never seen before. There's just some kind of vibe about them. There was a video, I think, on Copa 90, which had a bit about the Welsh language and a bit about the culture and a bit about the music and a bit about the fashion that I thought captured it quite well. I still can't put my finger on it, but it's a really nice vibe. So our job is to take care of them, is to make sure that, that we're not distant from them, that we understand them, that we're hopefully many of our people working with us are some, they're all Wales fans, by the way, in the office, of course. So they're fans as well. But our job is to try and not interfere with that vibe, but to curate it and to build upon it and give fans what they want, basically, because they're not asking for much. They're just asked to be treated well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've been preaching to converted here. This is the hardcore lots that have seen many years of pain and empty stadiums and rattled around the Principality, Millennium Stadium, and even plenty remember the Cardiff City Stadium when we first went there, and that wasn't exactly burst into the seams, was it? So it's a long time, isn't it? We got it's been a long time coming, this success. We love it when we do, but there is friendlies come along and we struggle for numbers, don't we?
I think that's the battle. I think I've gone into debate with some people on Facebook about it this evening. It's not just about supporting Wales at the big games; it's about supporting Wales at every game, every occasion, and that's the only way our game will grow. Otherwise, we'll just become like your FA Cup boys. We'll become those fans who turn up to a non-league or League Two team. They flood the gates for that FA Cup game, and they're gone. And you get that big pump of money, and then it's gone. And then you've got a massive hole to fill. Like you said, you've got a journey now for grassroots football. That cannot happen. Everybody wants something done in their area, but they don't feel they're going to put that money in for the friendlies. Put that money in for the friendlies, and these other little areas, like you said about the fashion side of things, that's going to grow Welsh football. And if it's, like you said, it's transparent, people can follow that journey and go, right, here's the cash, that's where I went to. They go, okay, and now I know what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
have a look at the games. I mean, to friendlies. I mean, I've been at some friendlies. I just moved here. I think they were playing New Zealand, a rugby friendly up in the Principality. I know there's 70,000 people there paying £100 and something a ticket. I mean, good luck to them if that's what they choose to do. Fine, but for us, we've a different approach, I would say, which is and it's difficult because. I live quite near the stadium, and you can see 70,000 people going to see rugby, and that's fine. But that's given them a lot of resources. Whatever way you look at it, that gives them a lot of resources to develop schoolgirl rugby, to develop pitches all across Wales. So if you're making, I don't know, £4 or £5 million for a match, whether it's right, wrong, or whatever, that's up for other people to debate. People are buying the tickets, so they're clearly going to the games, etc. But we're football. We're kind of coming from a different way. Well, we don't have them resources, to be quite frank. So we're trying to keep up with a sport that's got a lot more resources, and that's not always easy. So that's one of the challenges we have. So if we can build upon what this core support have, and bring a lot more people into that, and grow that support, then you should be unashamed in saying we do need more resources. We get it from television, so we've got a very good television deal for the national team. We do get good crowds when we sold out the two stadiums fine. Yeah. We listen to the fans saying they don't want to go to the Principality. They would rather play in Cardiff City Stadium. I think if we played Austria and we went to that stadium, would we have made more money? Yes. Would it have been an absolute disastrous decision? Absolutely, it would have been. That's quite clear. It's very clear to me that's the right thing to do. But at the same time, we've also got to realise that when we do that, which is the right thing to do, there's no problem with that, we are giving up, building an artificial turf pitch somewhere or building a dressing room somewhere. You see, we've got to try and tread a fine line between treating, as I said, the supporters in the way they should be treated and giving them all the things they want, but at the same time giving Kyrie and giving clubs all across Wales what they want. So it's a balancing act all the time. I think we're managing it relatively well now. But I just want the fans to come on that journey with us, that we're constantly communicating, we're talking about what we're trying to do. If we want to do something, like increase the ticket price as an example, or memberships, whatever it is, that we're talking about it, we're discussing it, we're agreeing it as best as we can together, and that the supporters feel they're building the game with us, and they can see what goalposts they're putting up, again, to go around. But that's a balancing act all the time that we're trying to keep with the supporters.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Can I just say?
Yes, you can.
You've been very transparent with fans, and I think we really, really appreciate it because we can see what's going on behind the scenes, and I think that's something that we need. And obviously, like you said, it's building, and I think that will obviously help things grow because the transparency and the honesty.
I think that's important. The trust is very important. That if we're behaving a certain way, so if we're behaving that we want the best for the fans. What we have to make sure we do then is not make a decision that's inconsistent with the behaviour. So it's fine to say, we want the fans to have a great time, we want them to be taken care of. But then if we make decisions that clearly are not in the best interest of the fans, that's when we should have a kickback or a backlash, whatever you want to call it. So we've got to manage that process very well. It's actually quite easy because we're football fans. It's really easy. When you're a fan, I didn't grow up supporting Wales, by my accent. But it's quite easy. We're Celtic nations. I can see the buzz. I was lucky to go to Euro 2016. I was working for UEFA at the time. I was wearing one of them suits going around. But I was actually in listening to Wales fans. I was at the Portugal game. I was up in Lille when we beat Belgium. And I got a sense of how special that Celtic nation is. So, we're football fans. It's quite easy. The only thing I would say is that there are certain decisions we have to make to drive resources that we need to discuss. we need to agree together and go forward
I
together.
think that's the key in the discussion.
Yeah.
There's an interesting question actually on here from Alid Roberts, and obviously it's one for all those guys in North Wales that are watching who's saying, will there be a friendly up north before the Wrexham Cop is redeveloped, or is it going to have to wait until after?
Well, Wrexham, our president, Steve Williams, is from that area.
Yeah,
and he's very much into, he's working very closely with the Wrexham City Council. Ian Bancroft is the CEO up there. He's actually a very good city council. They build a lot of artificial turf pitches in schools. There's football. It's a real hotbed of football. I mean, Nico, the Brazilian is up around there. It's a real hotbed of football. I mean, they just love football up that area. Wrexham itself, we're determined to bring international matches to Wrexham. But at the same time, there's regulations that UEFA and FIFA come with, like, your media stuff, your TV gantries, your floodlights, all that stuff. So we can't just kind of magic it up if you don't have it. So until the stadium's developed, which we're very much behind, there's significant investment going into the stadium, as you might know. We're helping them with the regulations, like, again, the looks of the floodlights, the size of the dressing rooms, the media stuff. That's all work in progress. Our Mark Evans, who's a big actor in Welsh football and a big supporter of the team, of course, he manages the team's logistics and all that stuff. He's working very closely with Wrexham City Council along with our president to give them the regulations. And I think we would love to have a match in Wrexham every cycle. Every cycle, we'd love to do it.
Yeah. We loved our trip up there as well. I know plenty of you came up there, didn't you? We saw you up there, Wardy, and for the Trinidad game, and it was it was fantastic. It was really good, really good. Such a hotbed, but yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, we are going to move it on a little bit. Rupert, we're going to say goodbye for now. We're going to say bye. Yeah. Thank you very much, Rupert Vias. I'll tell you what, Rupert, before we run off with the mic, can you leave the mic there? Can you press that? Because we're going to bring Christian from the Pumpers on. And Luke, if we can play the Pumpers again. Well, there we go. The absolutely wonderful Pumpers, and anyone who's been in the Canton stand will know exactly what that feels like. Christian, thank you very much for joining us, mate. Good stuff. How did that feel watching back? That's
amazing. Every time I put it on, I do put it on as well.
You do.
I love it. It's brilliant.
Feeling a little bit down Monday morning. Do you know, I'm just going to watch that again.
It's overwhelming. Like when I'm on stage and it happens, and it'll happen next Tuesday. It's just absolutely mental. Beers flying everywhere, crutches up in the air. Absolutely fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So that was on the Spirit of 58 stage, wasn't it? In was it? No, there's a couple more stages. No, I think with
what we tried to do is we've tried to pump it up, I guess, a bit.
Yeah, there you go. Very good.
You like it? We've got a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff happening under the stands. We've talked to supporters to try to see what they want to do. We've got this new idea as well of fan ambassadors. Which it might sound a little bit contrived, to be honest with you. They're going to be wearing special jackets and all that kind of stuff, but it's actually for people to understand how to do different things, because we've had a lot of questions. There was a few things I was annoyed at the last few games. For example, the sister came to the game, she couldn't buy a pint at halftime, and she was really annoyed. But she wasn't that annoyed, but she took pictures of me of the queues and different ways that things work in the stadium. And I know it's Cardiff City Stadium, but we've got to take responsibility. It's our night. And we've got to make sure that people can get to the bathroom, or they can get a pint, whatever it is. Not always easy, because a lot of people are trying to do something one time, but what we're trying to do is make the experience much, much better. And by having pumpers and different things going on, it just makes the thing better. Now, one thing I have to say is we want everyone in their seats, by 7 o'clock.
I've heard this. You were very adamant on Twitter. Everybody has to be in their seats by 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And why is this?
Well, it's a couple of things. If you take the Belgian game, for example, with 1,500 people, 1,500, outside the stadium at kickoff. So they missed the anthems. They missed the kickoff. And some of that was to do with queuing systems and stuff like that. So what we want to try and do is to create a brilliant atmosphere. People enjoy the evening. There's people not sweating and rushing to get into the stadium. We've got a performance, as you may know, at 7:15, which we can talk about after. But we want the players to feel the energy from the crowd right through the warm-up, for example. We want people to be in. We don't want to have queues outside, and there's children coming to matches, and it's a mess when it goes to that. So we're really hoping that people get in by 7. I know it's difficult because people are working, and it's hard to ask someone to not clock off or their jobs. But if you can at all, try and time yourself to be in the stadium and to see you, of course.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Tudor Jones says, "Up the pumpers, up the pumpers." Sensational. Yeah, absolutely. David Ewan, I think, is doing a 7:15, is he? I think.
That's right. Yeah. He's playing on the Gary Speed stage. Is that right? You've named the stage, Gary?
We got Gary Speed stage, and we got a stage over in the family stand as well. But you guys have obviously been Canton.
You always been in the Canton, yeah.
On the Spirit of 58 stage for Tim and all his stuff. So, what's it like walking out there? So, talk us through kind of your pre-match ritual. Do you take it?
We get there, set up, have a good look around the stadium. Lovely, because there's no one there. You see it all. Take a few pictures and everything,
nice.
And then we just hang around. Really, to be honest, we just have a good chat. Honestly, it's just the vibe in there.
So you're not just like slamming tequilas or
no, definitely. Well, most of us, like 3 members, are coming up from down. I say from Machynlleth.
Oh right, so coming up from what? I was wondering where you were going with that one.
The trumpet player. We're all from Machynlleth, which is a big Wales. But the trumpet player, he's studying Liverpool at the moment, so he's coming down from Liverpool and things like that. So, we can't always have a drink, but when we can, we do, and we enjoy it. It's fantastic. It makes it even better.
Amazing. Noel, you were saying as long as the Smiths are played, you'll be happy, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge Smiths fan. So, look, I don't have any influence, by the way, over the music. I have to say that.
Do you not?
I try and stay independent.
No, you've been
I know, I should have. I should have. I was playing that game with Rob Page the other day about the teams. What does it look like? It was much better than this. No, we try and say at the end of the day, it's got about what people want. So we try and listen to what people want. I think it's a good atmosphere at the games anyway.
But I want the Smiths. I don't know anybody else. Yeah, and John Mouse. That's what we definitely have John Mouse in there as well. If you had your one Wales song, what would it be, John?
Oh, as a chant, as in what we do?
No, as a song to get you pumped up for the game.
It's got to be the Ethan Ampadu. I don't even know what the song is. But you know the tune, what's it? Cookers on Gas, or I don't know. Ethan Ampadu, Ethan Ampadu.
Yeah,
that one, yeah. I haven't a clue what the tune's called, but I know it's on the playlist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't know.
It's called 3 Girls.
Oh,
it's called 3 Girls.
There we are, there. 3 Girls, that's the song.
There you go.
That's nice. It's called the Ethan Ampadu song.
We'll rename it.
Sure.
It's being renamed. Obviously, given the get up, big Scar fans. What Scar would you put on to get you pumped up for the game?
Scar put on.
Apart from obviously the Pumpers' best tracks.
I don't know. We've always loved like the American sort of Scar, like Lester J, Real Big Fish. But then we've also been, I think the band's favourite band is I would probably put it as Bad Manners. We love Bad Manners. They're absolutely fantastic. Seeing them live, we'd love to support them if that's possible.
I'm looking across the room, and there's like there's a certain section all smiling, going, "Oh yeah, class." There's a certain section going, "Bloody hell, are the Bad Manners."
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I can see where you're coming from. Football and music. Why football and music? Why does it go together?
Oh, it just falls in so well. It always has. There's always been great football songs.
It's cultural, isn't it? It's a whole
100%.
thing. Actually, the fashion as well. All those things go together.
Yeah.
You look at where football's really come from.
Definitely.
The big splurge in the 80s.
Yeah.
All the bands that come on the scene, obviously how people dress going to games. There's a lot more than just going to the game. It was all to do with the fashion and music, and it's like synergy. Like 1 and 1 is 3 sort of combination.
Yeah.
Like on its own, it's great, but added with football and added with clothing, it just goes to a different level.
It does. And at this point, John, I'm going to throw you out because you're going to get ready because you're going to do a tune for us later, aren't you? We're going to chat about the Tinty and the Bucket Hats in a sec. But we're going to throw you out for a sec, substitute you on for another John. So, Mr. Max, if you can come on, please, because we're going to cut the Wonder.
Great.
My man.
Replay on you.
Yeah. There we go. A rose between two thorns.
Oh, you're a
Listen, John, the creator, by the way, of the best anthem of the summer. I don't know if you've heard it, Noel. You need to go and check it out in the best video for the Euro song.
It was a great video, wasn't it?
It was absolutely sensational.
The song was good, but the video just kind of took it to the nth level.
Yeah. Even had his kids colouring in football shirts. It's sensational.
We recreated the Hal Robson Kanu goal, and I like a bit of child labour, got them to colour in the Belgium kits.
No expense was spared on the budget, so you had to get them to colour in the kits.
It's all filmed on the camcorder as well.
You can
But
tell.
if you like the Smiths, you like me. I'm a wordsmith. I didn't expect that.
Your tune to get you pumped up for the games?
For the games, something downbeat, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Something miserable.
Something miserable.
Put me back in the mood for the mid-90s, and then,
Bobby Gould era
Bobby Gould,
tunes.
Paul Borden, so maybe D. Reams, Things Can Only Get
Better.
Yeah.
1997 classic used by somebody who, I can't put my finger on his name.
Guess me, go.
Absolutely. How does it feel to get your tunes played out? Because he was a goalkeeper, gets regularly played out at the stadium, doesn't it? And Heart the Size of Wales, which are two sensational songs.
Do you know what? Like, I get mates sending me messages on WhatsApp and on Twitter and all that, singing along to my song in the stadium. You can't, I would never have ever thought that would ever have happened. Like you said, rattling around the Millennium Stadium or whatever it was called back then, Cardiff Arms Park, trying to sing Bulldogs or whatever, to bloody Vinnie Jones or someone out there, right?
These were dark times, Noel. There's a lot of scarred people.
But you know what? but this is what makes us brilliant, isn't it? All that. Do you know you were trying to put your finger on it? It was because we were so rubbish for ages. But not rubbish either. There was
we had sensational kits. The 90s kits were absolutely sensational.
One or two amazing players with Jeremy Goss dripped around as well. But it's that. I think that's where it all came from. Just that waiting, and it just built and built and built, and that's why we love it so much now. Is because we went through all that awfulness, and these youngsters, they haven't. Do you know what? I hope Austria beat us. Because they're doing my head in, kids. Are we great? Have a grip. You can't beat children in Wales anymore.
No.
It's true.
Thanks, John. So we want to teach the youngsters a lesson. Is that
exactly? Teach them a lesson. Get them back into what it really means to be a Welsh football fan, right? Because at the moment they're living in Cloud.
They did have a defeat to Ireland in 2017.
Can I? Tosh fan over there.
Yes.
I met him once. I played for Club Cymru, right? Kyrie again. A lot of mentions today, so I'm going to mention Club Cymru, right? Welsh language team. So I absolutely love what's going on with the money coming into the game, and that's what's needed, and I love that so much. It's beautiful that that's happening. So I started the Club Cymru Welsh language mini kids football team. We had 4 kids training in Pontcanna Park. We've now got 300 kids playing Club Cymru, right? So whilst I was coaching them, and I still coach them, I thought, I better go and play for Club Cymru, right? I can't speak Welsh. So I was in the dressing room and they're all giving it all out, and I'm like, just sitting there, yeah, whatever. Anyway, one season, posh fan there, he's a referee as well.
Yeah, he is.
Sent me off. The first time I ever met him, he sent me off.
Rightly so, though.
It was rightly so. Do you know what? It wasn't violent conduct. I thought I was Neville Southall when actually I was supposed to be Delaney, so you know.
I see.
You
weren't a goalkeeper.
The instinct is still there, isn't it? It's still there.
Is that what spun the song, or was the song which came first, the goalkeeper song, or that? The goalkeeper came first. Yeah.
Is it worth it? No, we lost like 4-1 and lost the league. They hated me, the team. I retired that season. I play Vex football now for Penturth.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. And I see you've gone for the referee colours. Excellent.
Yeah.
So they can't send you off anymore.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Nice.
I feel like I'm talking too much now.
Not at all. No, wonderful. But I've completely lost where we were going, to be honest with you. All of that.
You said what's it like having the song played in the stadium?
I did, didn't I? I did.
Brilliant.
And it's absolutely brilliant.
By the way,
we've had James Evans on the messages, Luke, who even put up, we had, just to pop back to your 90s point, and he said we had Giggsy, Rush, Hughes and Saunders in the 90s, and we were still absolutely rubbish.
Exactly.
How the hell were we rubbish?
Eric Young was quality, though, wasn't he?
Oh, what he sensational. The headband, and what a legend. Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
I'm kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
I'm still rattling round with that ball after the crossbar, and I'm still there.
Still there. One day, it was a formative memory, I think, for a lot of us. Bowden hitting the possible. I think. Do you know what? And Big Nev is absolutely just one of my total heroes. But I think he kind of gets away with it a bit because of the penalty miss. Because they really should have saved that shot.
Oh, dude.
Dived over the bloody top of it. Yeah. Actually, just talking to Southall, where's Di? Di, come here a minute, because you come and bring that Neville Southall. Look at this. I mean, like the rest of us have all come up. The rest of us, not only has he come, but we've had Di, who's actually come as Neville Southall. Come and sit down here, Di.
Look
at that.
A beautiful thing.
That is a thing of beauty. He's even gone for the cap. And
Self-made.
Self-made?
Yeah.
Did you make that yourself?
The missus bought me this, and she made the hat. So.
Oh wow! No wonder you married her. Amazing. Quick, Noel, take some notes. This needs to go. Either that, or he's going to sue you. So one of those. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. Give time for Animal Order. So we even had Neville Southall in the house. So Noel, the music is going to continue at the stadium, and just that atmosphere as well, and we're looking to build for the fans.
Yeah, I think we've a lot of people who are interested in working there for interested in what the fans are doing. But I think we need to go to another level, which is to have a lot more engagement. I mean, this for me is even lovely just to hear this. I'm learning things tonight myself, which is good to know. But I think we have some more face-to-face.
Well, we'll sit you in the corner with John later. That's fine, and we can talk to you all about the 90s.
Yeah, but I think we need to keep talking.
Yeah.
We need to keep listening. I think around the country, like you're from McCuntlet, I think
That's
you mentioned,
correct, yeah.
We need to have a night in McCuntlet where people who can connect with Wales, we need to bring ex-players like a Neville or Rush, whoever the hell it is, in to talk about what it means so we can understand it better, so we can provide things that make the thing more special. I spoke earlier about, I don't know what our core support is, 20,000, 25,000, I don't know. But if we want to go to 50, 60,000 people who want to come to our matches regularly, then we've got to step up our game ourselves. We've got to talk more, we've got to understand more, we've got to give people what they want. Yeah.
Well, if you ever need anyone to go up there and do some stuff in the track. Christian, listen, we were going to finish it off before you guys play us out. There's a big flag out there called Tinty and the Bucket Hats, right?
That is correct, yes.
Tell me all about Tinty and the Bucket Hats. And so this is a side project. You're not like splitting the pumpers. This is not a big deal where you're kind of storming off doing a solo project.
Yeah. Okay. So it's me and good old John Morgan. We started a new band called Tinty and the Bucket Heads. Bucket Hats.
Bucket Hats. Very important to get your name.
So Tinty and the Bucket Hats.
Yes.
We are a sort of like a ska punk band. My brother plays the drums as well. And
Sounds very similar to the band you're in at the
A
moment.
little bit, yeah. It's just that style, you know. It just suits football really well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think miserable music suits.
Yeah. We have
I've never
Tinty
played at
Bucket
the
Hats,
stadium,
John
so
Mouse
what do I
smash
know?
up.
Yeah, Tinty and the Bucket Hats. Me and John Morgan, and yeah, we're going to be got a couple of songs that we're going to be recording very soon. So keep an eye out for them. I'm very excited.
And for a good cause.
Very good cause, yes.
Yeah. So
kids,
tell us a little bit about that.
So we're all raising sort of money for Kidscape, which is a anti-bullying campaign, especially like in South Wales. So me and John, we're both primary school teachers, so we feel very strongly about that subject. So we feel like we could be doing a good thing by writing, recording these songs, and we're not going to say anything else more than that for today. But yeah, super excited to announce that as well, and yeah, just look forward to the future, especially raising money.
Oh, no,
against bullying.
fantastic,
Brilliant,
fantastic.
yeah.
And I think the county have got behind you as well, haven't they? Newport County have got behind you. So.
That's right, the Amber Army are all behind us, so we're looking forward to being able to play as well. I'll leave it at that. I won't say
Oh, dramatic. All right.
Exactly, yeah.
No way. Well, John, have you got your guitar with you? Have you got your guitar with you?
It's my guitar.
It's your guitar?
It's my guitar, yeah.
Well, should we bring that on? Are you going to play us out?
He's going to play us out. I was going to sing.
He's going to sing.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap the show then, because these guys are going to go and do a little bit of action for us. Noel, well, listen, first of all, thank you so much for coming
pleasure.
on.
No,
Absolute pleasure having you on and chatting to the fans. There's been a great reaction on Twitter and Facebook to it, so I think people are loving what you're saying about the grassroots, and yeah, we look forward to seeing what develops in your tenure. John, you didn't bring your guitar. What the bloody hell didn't you bring your guitar?
I can't play guitar, man.
You're a bloody musician.
You should hear me play piano.
Wow, if I could, yeah, I would.
I can bring you guitar.
Grant Hawkins has been on. I love it. I thought John Morgan talked some crap, but this mouse chap has beaten him tonight.
Potentially true. However, I wouldn't be playing fucking what's his name on the wing, right? And I'd start Bale as well, right? Yeah.
Gotta be done.
100%, John. Nice, everybody. Go out and buy some John Nice tickets. Sorry? Josh movie. I've just been shouted out to plug our own thing. Unless I actually forget, we've got a movie coming out. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But it's the first one we've ever done, right? So it's all about John Toshak, his time at Swansea. It is available to pre-order on Amazon right now, but you don't have to just be a Swans fan to enjoy it. You have to be a football fan, because it's an amazing story all about Toshak, his relationship with Shankly, how he dragged a club from the 4th division to the 1st division. It is sensational. Go and order it on Amazon right now. In fact, if you see that there, right, there's a little QR code. Go click that QR code, and that'll take you there. And then you can it's only a tenner. It's only a tenner. It's nothing. Anyway, if you can support us, that would be amazing. And I hope you really enjoy the film. Is that enough, Dave? Brilliant. I got a thumbs up, which is fantastic. So, listen, a big thank you to everybody here who's come along for the evening. Thank you very much for sending us in. And there'll be more coming from that. So, listen, thank you very much. We'll be back soon. Christian still hasn't got his guitar. John, you have to bring the bloody guitar up. I gave you such a long build-up to bring the guitar up, and you missed your cue. Come on, John. I'm going to have to talk for a little bit longer now. Yeah, John, thank you very much. Noel, cheers very much. Anytime, John. Anytime. Lovely stay. Hey, look, John is back. Amazing. Wonderful stuff. And we're definitely sure that's a guitar. Excellent stuff. So listen, just while we're getting prepared, it is one of those, so we will just rock it on, and they will just, do I get out of the way or do I sit there? I'll probably move out of the way, don't I? Well, should I backing vocals?
Yeah, do it.
John, are you joining us here? Are you joining in singing? You can hold a tune. What is it?
We're all joining it. That's all right. We all know.
Yeah, you think you get it? Do you know? Yeah.
I like it.
Great.
Just play the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Ready? Yeah.
Go.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're just
Too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
You've
Given heaven to touch.
I want to hold
You so much.
and I love and ride. And I can't go out of
Alive.
You're
Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
Rather the way that I stand, there's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
This is a bit I think to do. 3, 4. You baby, and if it's fine, I love you baby. I love you baby.